Welcome back once again. Now in this class I'm going to be teaching you all about our HTML element tag, and we are going to be using some of our HTML element tag to create a basic web page. Okay, so without wasting much time, let us open our Visual Studio Code, and let me open my browser. So this is what we did previously. So if you don't know how to do this, just check my previous video. Okay, now here inside the body, I told you all your code comes inside this body here. Now inside the body here, I'm going to be introducing you to some HTML element tags. Okay, now the first one I'm going to be introducing you to is the heading tag. Now take for example, you open a web page and you need the web page to have a heading. Okay, now to do that we need the heading tag, and in HTML the heading starts from H1 down to H6. So let's just practicalize this. As you can see, so this is for the first heading. This is for this first heading. So as you can see, so we only have from H1 to H6. We don't have H7. So if I should say H7, you see, it did not give me any effect. It has no effect. So heading starts from H1 down to what? H6. Okay, and the higher the number in terms of ranking, the higher the thicker the text. Okay, so just know that 1 is the first, 2 is the second, H3 third, fourth, fifth and 6th. Okay, now for this I'm going to be using H1. So let me just leave H1 here. Now another tag I'm going to be introducing you guys to is the center tag. So let's take for example, now I want my heading to be the great tech, let me say HTML tutorial. Now you see, so this is my heading. So if let me open my web page now, let me maximize the web browser. So look at it. So this is my heading. Okay, now if I want this text to be in the center, then I need to make use of the center tag. Okay, and to do that, you open your bracket here, your lesser than sign, sorry, and type your center, then you close. So in between the opening of the center tag here and the closing of the center tag, anything inside is going to be in the center. So if I should come here and say thanks for watching, now you can see the thanks for watching is what is at the center, and you can see it here. And you see it on the center of the web page here. Okay, so this center tag is used to center what? Elements. Okay, now I'm going to remove this and I'm going to copy this and paste it inside. Okay, now you can see the Great Tech HTML tutorial is now what? In the center, because it's inside the center what? Tag. Let me just do this. Okay, now you can see it here is inside the center tag. This is the opening of the center tag, this is the closing, and it is what? Inside. Okay, now another thing I'm going to be introducing you guys to is the bold tag, and to do that you just need to create this. Now this is the opening of the bold tag and this is the closing, and anything in between these tags is being what? Bold. So if I say this is a boy, now just watch, you can see the text is what? Bold. Okay, now another tag is the italics, and to do that the tag is what? The I. So the I tag is used for what? Italics, used to italicize what? A text. Okay, now you can see it's what? Italics. Okay, now we also have the U tag for underline. Okay, now you can see the text is being what? Underlined. Okay, so we also have P for paragraph, and what P does is that it's used to create a paragraph. Okay, so if I say, okay, let me say this is a boy, his name is, okay, now you see this his name is, it continues from this same line. So if I use the P tag, this his name is going to come down to the next line. Okay, that is just what the P tag does, representing the paragraph. That is what it does. So yeah, I'm just going to say P. Okay, then I'm going to close it here. Okay, now you can see his name is started from a new line. Okay, so that is that. Now another tag I'm going to be introducing you guys to is the break line. Okay, which is what? BR tag. And the BR also, same way this P tag used to move things or starts from next line, the break line tag BR is used to create a line. Okay, it's used to move any text below it to a next line. So just know that. Now let's practicalize it so that you just know what I'm saying. Now let me say, so this is my first web page. Let me zoom in. So this is my first web page. Okay, now peradventure I want this web page to come below this. I can use the BR tag, sorry. So here I'm just going to say BR. Now watch. Okay, now you can see the break what the break line does. You see it moved this what text downwards. Okay, so if I should add another BR, it's going to move it down again. Now you see. Okay, so this is just what the BR does. Okay, now we also have another tag, HR, signifying the horizontal line, and what it does is that it's going to create a horizontal line from this edge to this edge. Okay, taking the full width of this web page. So let's just do that to see. So this is it. Now you can see the horizontal line here. You can see the horizontal line here. Okay, and under it, let me just use my B tag and say designed by now you can see. Okay, now I want to place it inside the center. I want it to be in the center. So what should I do? I need to do what? Encapsulate it inside the center tag. So here I'm going to create a center tag here, and I'm going to close the center tag here. Okay, now you might be asking, what if you did not close the center tag? Now what? Let me just remove this so that you just see. Now if I did not close the center tag, any other thing I'm typing is still going to be in the center. Let me use BR to move it down. Okay, now you can see it's still what? In the center. So if I should move put another BR and say welcome, you see it's still at the center. Okay, you see they are still what? On the center of the page. So you see the reason why we need to close a tag. So when we are done using a tag, we should be able to do what? To remember to close it. So yeah, I'm going to close it there. Okay, now you see when I close it, all these ones just come to their default, which is the left align. Okay, I'm just going to remove this. Yeah, okay, Okay, so that is that. Now another tag I'm going to be teaching you guys is the div tag. And what the div tag does is that it is used to create a section. It's used to create section. Okay, now you can also say the div tag is a block element. Okay, as we go further, we are going to see more on it. So just know for the definition is a block element that is used to what? To create sections. Okay, so this is just how to create a div tag. This is just how to create a div tag, and inside we can just say section. Let me say this is the navigation section, or let me just say this is the about us section. So let me just say about section. Okay, and you can see. So actually you might not see the actual work or the actual need of a div tag now, but as we go further you see why we usually use this div tag to create what? Sections. Okay, now we also have another tag, span, and this span is an inline element tag. Okay, it's an inline element tag. So now the reason why we say this one is a block element tag is that it starts from another line while this one continues from same line. So just take a good look at what I want to do now. Okay, now you can see. So this is the first span here, and this is the second span element. Okay, now you see about section and about section 2, they are in the same line. That is why we say it's an inline what? Element. Okay, now let me do same thing for the div. Now let me copy this div here and let me paste it. Now you see about section. Let me come here and say about section 12. Okay, so you see about section and you see about section 12, and you see that they are in separate line. So since they started in separate line, that is why we say it's a block level element, or is a block element, while the span element is a inline element. Okay, so just know that. So now let me just delete this all. Okay, as we proceed we will be seeing more HTML elements. You know, HTML has to do with tags, element tags. Okay, so I'm going to be introducing you to just one dummy word, and to do that we need the lorem. To create dummy words we need lorem. Okay, now you see it's going to give me some sort of dummy words. Okay, so this is how to just do it. Just type your lorem in your Visual Studio Code to just give you the default dummy words. Okay, now you can also include the number of dummy words that you want, and to do that just type lorem, then let me say 200 to give me 200 dummy words. Okay, and you can see, boom, here we go. Okay, so instead of me, maybe I don't know what to type yet. Okay, maybe I want to search for what to type here, but I don't want to leave the place empty, so I can just use a dummy words to fill in the place. Okay, and I can also put the dummy words inside a tag, and here I can just say P to create a paragraph tag, and after the dummy words I can close my P tag here. Okay, so this is it. Now you can see the opening of the P tag, then you can see the dummy words, you see the closing of the P tag. Okay, so this is it. We just take a good look at this. Now back to the overview. This one is used to center, opening and closing of the center, and this H1 is inside the center tag, giving us this degree tech HTML tutorial and making it to become in the center, to be in the center of our web page. Okay, now this P tag just stands for paragraph, and I initially explained what it does. It's used to create a paragraph. Okay, basically what it does is that it's going to create the text or the write of it inside in a new line. Okay, it's going to start from a new line. Then this HR here is going to give you a horizontal line, which is this, and this center, as usual, used to center any elements, use center HTML elements. Then this b tag just used to bold, and inside the bold tag we just typed this text here. Okay, so just take a good look at it once again. Okay, so this is it for this class.